Welcome. Welcome to your favorite Tennessee Titans podcast, Tennessee Titans Weekly. Jacques,
Oh,
Jacques,
oh,
what's up, ladies and gentlemen?
what's
What's
up? What's
happening?
up? Hey, we
What's up?
here.
We're
We
here.
here.
We're here.
Quarantine living again.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely, man. To you and
uh,
yours. I know everybody's at the house. Welcome to the show. Early Memorial Day weekend for everybody.
right,
Yes,
right.
sir. Yes,
We
sir.
here. Like you said, man. Quarantine and living. We don't have no sports right now, so ladies and gentlemen, we are your sports. We
Exactly.
bring you that flavor, that fire. You know how we did. We were on. Shout out to Titan Upload. We were on his show
Yep.
last week, man. It was a good show, good time, a good energy. So Titan Upload once again. We really appreciate
We
you
do, man.
bringing us on your show because you didn't have to do that. And people on down the line is going to come with us. We're going to bring a different podcasts, Titan Anderson, Titan Upload, Titans and Truth,
Yeah.
everybody, man. So just stay tuned, be prepared. We got some big things coming on down the pipeline that we'll talk about at the end of the show. But hey, what we here to talk about today, bro?
Man, we're here to talk about that 2020 Tennessee Titans schedule, man. And what we mean is where we see them today, May 21st. So we're gonna code this show as volume one. Okay. Our final volume two would be right after the preseason, whenever that happens, right? Whenever that happens. But for what we see today, right now, if anything, I'd hope our record could even be better than what we're predicting today, right?
Right.
But we're going to give a full breakdown on each team as to how we think we can either win or lose. I think the schedule is very favorable, and we'll discuss that, during the show. As Jacques stated earlier, Titan Upload, we appreciate the show that we did a few days ago as well. We're going to be a part of other shows in the future here, and like very soon, even within the next few days. So please be on the lookout, man. We're gonna be on here, man. We are grinding, we're working, man. And you know why? Because we love doing this, and we love the Titans, and that's why we're here, man. That's why
Right,
we're
man.
here.
Likewise, bro. Like you said, this show is going to be all about the schedule, and this one of these things about this schedule this year is oddly less stressful than it was last year because last year we came into a lot, and we came into that season last year with a lot of uncertainty. We didn't know what was going to happen with Mariota. We didn't know if Derrick Henry was going to be the product that he was the prior year. You didn't know how Mike Vrabel was going to coach his second year. So it was just a lot of uncertainty. This year we're coming in with we're verifying oil machine. We're just coming off the AFC Championship, so
Yes, sir.
we have to continue that push to get to. Hey, we're not just trying to get to a championship. We're trying to get to the Super Bowl. We're trying to win it. Not just go, but we're trying to win it. So it's one of those things, man. Hey, we're here,
Yes, sir.
and we're expecting going from good to great. And I think we did that in the latter part of the season. We didn't finish the marathon, but they say the marathon will continue. And hey, we on for a push again. So hey, we're trying, man. I hope we do it. But hope whenever you're ready to get in the schedule, bro, we can get in the
Hey,
schedule.
I'm ready, sir. I'm ready. I can't wait. And before that, what I want to let you all know, we haven't discussed, except for one
Right.
team, we haven't discussed who you think is going to win or lose or whatever. This is all just fly by night as far as what I know and what he knows, and I have no idea. The only thing is that I know and he knows is where we feel where we're finishing as far as record. That's what we do know from each other. But as far as who's going to win and who's going to lose, hey, John, it's wide open. I have no idea who you're going to pick, man.
And likewise, I have no idea who you're gonna pick. Like you said,
Yes,
we're going
sir.
this thing blind. So I don't know
Yes, sir.
what you picking. You don't know what I'm picking. So we'll see. But let's get this schedule, man. And
Let's do it. Let's do it.
hold on, man. Hold on. Uh, all right, Hawk. We having some technical difficulties.
No worries.
You have to pass the ball. Let me share the screen, my brother. It's not letting me
Okay.
share.
Okay.
You do me a favor. Share it on your end.
Okay.
Allow me to share because it's not allowing me to share.
Okay. You want me to share my screen?
No. So yeah, I'm getting a message saying host disabled participant screen
Oh,
sharing.
for real? Oh, really? Okay. Let me see here. Let me see if I can. My
You
bad.
gotta pass me the ball, bro.
Yes, sir. All right. There you go, man. There it
All
is.
right, perfect. There we go.
Yes, sir.
Little technical difficulties, people, but we here. We are here. We are here. Let's do this. Let's get this going here. All right. So,
Yes, sir.
we are talking about the show, the 2020 show here,
Yep.
and We getting into it, brother. So, of course, we know this, like we said this year, the schedule is it's in our favor. Let me say
Yep.
that. I've
Yep.
looked at it, you looked at it, and you look at some of these teams, you're like, okay, what happened to where we got lucky? And some things you're like, we got to play them again, or we got to play them again. But, I mean, what do you think? Let's get into this first team, bro.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. So we got them Broncos on
Yep.
Monday Night Football, man. We
Monday
finally
night.
got a prime time game. We didn't
Yes,
get none
sir.
last year. We
Yes,
finally
sir.
got a prime time game on Monday night, man.
Yep.
So here we go, bro. I'm
All
gonna let
right.
you start it off, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What do you think? What do you think?
2020. All right. Is it changed yet? It ain't changed yet on the screen.
Is it changed or
Uh-uh. Nah.
hold on? Let's see. Let me see here. What about now?
Nah. It still
Nothing.
shows. Yeah, it still shows the intro.
Okay, hold
Yep.
on. It's changing on my end, man. Hold on.
Okay.
All right. Hold on, bro. Hold on. Let's see. Let's see. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Let's try it again.
Yes, sir. Looks like we're about to. Yes, sir.
What we got now?
Okay. There it is. The Denver Broncos.
All right. All
All
right.
right. So, Jacques, the Denver
Yes.
Broncos, week 1, Monday Night Football. First
Mhm.
game, first Monday night of the season, right?
Yep.
This is going to be a tough game. It's at Denver. It's in the Mile High. Jarrell Casey's the Jarrell Casey game. I'm sure that's what they're dubbing this game as. Uh, 99 is going to be ready. He's going to wear 99 for the Broncos. I know he's angry. I know he's going to
Oh.
tell the players, hey, this is what they like to do. This is what they don't do and all those things. But to be honest, I think we're going to win this football game. And this is why I say this. When you look at it offensively, the Denver Broncos right now are unscripted. Okay, you have the receivers, but you got the rookie Jerry Jeudy. We don't know a lot about Drew Lock. He started the last half of the season, still unproven, and this will be his second year, so teams will be more prepared for him. Their running game with Lindsey, and now they have Melvin Gordon. Running game is probably a little bit better than what they had last year, but I still don't trust their run defense. They still got to stop 22 in thin air in Denver. Okay, and it's going to be warm. It's not going to be a cold game, so that works in our favor. I actually think, man, I think we will win this football game on the premise of being physical. Yes, they got Jarrell Casey. The reason why they got him is because they struggled in the run defense last year. Now they got him. Of course, we got to watch Von Miller in the passing game, but Chris Harris is no longer there. So I think it's a wide open situation. Even if they tend to stop the run, we get pass on Denver. I think Denver's defense is average at this time because of the players that they've lost and the fact that when you look at Drew Lock, he's still unproven to me. I know Denver's ready to act like he's John Elway, but he's not there yet. He's got time, and yes, he has a lot of receivers on the outside, but they're unproven. So I like our defense. I like our run offense. I think that we will beat the Denver Broncos week 1, Monday night. Let's go, Tennessee.
Okay. So for me, my thing is Drew Lock. Drew Lock is the Broncos, okay, and they picked him, and he showed flashes last year. He was okay. The one game that he had was against the Texans, where they whooped up on the Texans. But you may have one or two good games, but like you said, he's unproven. This is his second year. He's coming in to a point where he doesn't have a number one receiver. They got the kid from Penn State, and I mean it was a good pickup. And now correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
They didn't get Jerry Jeudy. They got another receiver.
Yeah, they got Judy.
Okay,
They
so
got Judy. Yep.
they got Jeudy, which is a
Hmm.
good pickup for him, right?
Yes. Hmm.
But I don't trust Drew Lock. I'm just being honest with you. Defensively, they got AJ Boye, they got Casey.
Yep.
They lost Wolf on the defensive line, and they do have Chubb coming back, which he was a monster on the defensive line. And then also, like you said, they got Casey. So with me, it's going to be a physical game, but something that stands out to me is our receiving core is way better than Denver's receiving core right now because, like you said, they're unproven.
Right.
Something that our receiving core is doing is they're getting chemistry. They're building chemistry with Tannehill and Woodside as we speak. AJ Brown is catching 1,000 balls as we speak, right?
Yep.
That almost takes you half a day to do to catch 1,000 balls, right?
Right.
So what that tells me is offensively, if the defense happens to crumble down and we have to get into a shootout, I would take the Titans over the Broncos any day. We still got Derrick Henry. And like you said, it's in the mile high. Everybody knows in Denver the air is super thin. So that can slow the Titans down, but I have us winning this game Monday night. Titans prevailing over the Denver Broncos. It's a revenge game from last year when we lost to them 16 to
Yes.
nothing. So you have to make up for it in
Yes.
Denver with Tannehill at the helm. When he's starting day one versus him coming in later in the season to try to pick up the pieces. So no, I got us
Right.
winning, man.
Yep. Absolutely, man. So it sounds like 1-0. I know AJ Boye. He's gonna be there. He's gonna try to say a few things because he's familiar, but I'm not scared of him. No offense,
So
neither one of them. So
what did he do when he was with the Jags?
exactly, he
I'm just
tackling air.
I'm just saying, like we have familiarity with these teams. We have familiarity with these players. Like, okay,
Yep.
it's AJ Boye. You just in a different uniform, dog.
That's
So
right, sir. That's
hey, I'm
right.
with it.
Yes,
W
sir.
for me. So win
W.
for you.
Yep.
W
Yes,
for
sir.
you.
1-0.
Okay.
1-0. Yes, sir.
All right. So game 2, we got the kiddies, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So what you think, Jacques, about Jacksonville, man?
So with Jacksonville, they have that boy Minshew. So not a
Yep.
he's pretty good. They picked up Laviscus Chenault, which he's injury prone, but I like Laviscus because he's very physical. He's a physical wide receiver. But other than that, man, this is an unhappy team. Half the players don't want to be there. Leonard Fournette don't want to be there. And in the years past, 5 years running, we own the Jags. I know we let one slip up. We let one slip up last year when Minshew came in. And that's because anytime you have a new quarterback in, you don't have any tape on them, so you don't know what to expect. This year, I feel like the Titans are more disciplined on defense to be like, hey, we're not going to let that happen anymore. Hey, this is what we got. And the Jags have lost too many weapons. Too many weapons on defense, too many weapons on offense. They still got Josh Allen. They still got number 44. They still got some pieces, but in the secondary, man, they're depleted. They have C.J. Henderson, but he's unproven, man. AJ, when I told you when C.J. got drafted to the Jags, what did I tell you, Hawk? AJ Brown is gonna run all over him, and he's gonna push him over. He's gonna make weight, and so I just feel like us going into the season without any uncertainty and going into a season where we got this cohesiveness. Man, we're winning this game. It's 2-0, bro. Let's go. What about you?
Yes, sir. So there's a favorite moniker that people say, and it's who's your daddy? So with the Jags, that's what we've been to them, especially with the Jacksonville native Derrick Henry, right? So when I look at Jacksonville, when I look at C.J. Henderson, when I look at, they let A.J. Boye go. Of course, Jalen Ramsey was gone from last year as well. That's going to be a lot of pressure on the rookie. And we've seen the tape. He can cover pretty well, but he's not strong. He's not physical, can't tackle. And I think even on their entire defense, when you look at in Dukwe, in Goku, he's a heck of a defensive end, but he wants to go. He'll probably be gone, right? They say Leonard Fournette wants to be gone. So Jacksonville is a place where no one wants to play right now, and as a result of that, the players that they have left are guys that aren't there. They're not playmakers. Laviska Shenault, again, he's a rookie, so you can only put so much on a rookie. Could he be even like an AJ Brown? That's what people try to compare him to. He's going to have a long way to get there, but I think Jacksonville's problem is that they're just not tough. They're not physical. And to beat the Titans, you have to have some physicality, and they don't have that. Now, I know they have DJ Shark, the receiver. Yes, as we spoke about Gardner Minshew, they made the right decision in going with him over Nick Foles. Nick Foles was terrible last year. Gardner Minshew, when we did play them, he did very well, especially during the game he did play. But I don't think that Jacksonville has enough muster to beat the Titans. Just as simple as that. And it's a home game. It's our first home game of the season. We're gonna be hyped. And Jacksonville they're just not ready. Miles Jack, I don't even think he wants to be there, right? This is a definite win for the Tennessee Titans. So I'm 2-0 Tennessee beating the Jags, no question.
2-0 here. And a side note with the Jaguars, man, just what it was 3 years ago they were in the AFC Championship.
Yep.
3 years ago that you were on top, and me and Lorenzo, we talked about this, man. we said that the Jaguars have a small window to be successful, and that window and that time is run out, and they're in rebuild mode, and everybody wants to leave. Like it's a toxic organization, and when all your players and your key players have left, and you ain't got nothing else, I don't know what to tell you. But
That's right.
we're gonna go to this third game, my brother. Let's see
Yes,
what we
sir.
got. Oh, we got them Vikings.
Ooh,
Them
Minnesota.
Vikings. Them
Minnesota.
Vikings. All right, Hulk, start it off, bro. What you think?
The Vikings. So this is what I want to say about this game here. The Minnesota Vikings have been in the playoffs the past several years. This is a tough football team. It's in Minnesota, in the dome. The Minnesota Vikings is a very tough football team. Defensively, Minnesota's always been very good on defense, and they drafted pretty well as well this year. Even on the defensive side, they drafted the receiver that I wanted in Justin Jefferson. So, he's with and then you have Tajay Sharp, the former Titan, that's going to be licking his chops when it comes to this game, right? You don't think he has it like circled, like, okay, I can't wait to play them jokers. I can't wait. Right. This Minnesota game is going to pose a challenge for us, and I think Derrick Henry, the running game, can still do a pretty good job, but Minnesota has a pretty good run defense. And I also, when I look at Minnesota, Kirk Cousins, probably not as good as Tannehill. I think Ryan Tannehill is better. But then I look at, Dalvin Cook's a playmaker. Now they don't have the receiver in
Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs. Diggs is with Buffalo. So that's a big loss for them. But I even if he was there, I don't think he would change that much for us. I think for right now, we would try to run against Minnesota, and Minnesota's defense is a pretty stout defense. And, you got to look at, Danielle Hunter. You got to look at, the fact that he's still there. He's still a heck of a defensive end. Griffin is still there as well. These guys are pretty good. I actually would say that we might lose this football game to the Minnesota Vikings. It's an NFC game. It's not a game that we would just be like, oh, my gosh, this is a divisional game. It's one of them games I think that is going to pose a challenge for us because I don't think we're going to be able to do what we want to do. And defensively, even their DBs will cover very well. Young guys. Minnesota's always have a good defense, and I think they'll beat us this game. What about for you, man?
So for me, with them losing Stephon Diggs, they lost. What was the DB they lost? Because
Xavier Rhodes.
They lost Xavier Rhodes, which he gets burnt a lot. And then they have the other DB. What's his name? And then
the safety Harrison Smith.
They don't have Harrison Smith. They do still got Harrison Smith. They picked up Jeff Gladney too, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Okay, they picked up young Jeff. They got Justin Jefferson. With me, Kirk Cousins is serviceable. Let me say that. He's nothing that I'm scared of threat-wise. And then, like you said, they picked up Tajay. They got Justin out there starting as a rookie. The defense has always been tough, and we've always had fits with Minnesota. I think every time we played Minnesota, we actually lost to Minnesota. With this game, I think we actually win it. I'm gonna tell you why. The focus will be different. I'm thinking of years past with the Titans. With this game, I feel like Vrabel will have them more mentally prepared, mentally focused. This is a team you haven't seen in years. The receivers, to me, are not proven. Justin Jefferson is a good receiver, yes. But remember, we still have Jackson. We still have my boy. He's losing me.
Talking about Malcolm Butler?
Malcolm Butler. We still got Butler.
Yes, sir.
Butler, we got Fulton. Our secondary is coming back. You see what I'm saying? So remember, we didn't have this secondary at the latter part of the year, but we do now. And their receivers don't scare me, okay?
Right.
Defensively, on the defensive line, maybe, yes. But at the same time, Derrick Henry hasn't played Minnesota. You see what I'm saying? Minnesota hasn't played Derrick Henry. So that's something that's telling me, too. These are two unfamiliar teams that haven't played each other in years. But, hey, we're coming back to play each other again. I'm not scared of Tajay. I like Tajay. I wish we would have kept him. But he's not my number 2 or number 3. He's more my number 4, okay?
Right.
Justin Jefferson, he's a rookie. Yes, he was a damn good receiver. Yes. But at the same time, do I trust him to be my number 1? No, because you're unproven, son. You see what I'm saying? You still got Dalvin Cook, who's a threat out the run game, and he's a threat out the backfield with the passing game as well. But I feel like if we can scheme and draw up something very well against them, I think we can win. I actually think we'll beat them because of the certain fact that we're coming in where it's a lot of uncertainty, but I feel like Vrabel will have them prepared enough to be like, hey, let's stay focused. This is what kind of tendencies they run. This is what they do. So I got us winning, bro.
Okay. All right. Good deal, man. All right, Minister. So,
All right.
so Jacques, right now you're 3-0. I'm 2-1. All right.
All right.
Sounds
All
good,
right.
sir. Sounds
All
good.
right. Let's go. What we
All
got
right.
next?
The
Woo!
next game, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Terrible towels, man.
Yep.
So,
Pittsburgh. Talk to me, Jacques.
so with Pittsburgh, you got Big Ben. All right, he's coming back, right?
Yep.
Pittsburgh lately has been on a downtrend, and we know that. But it's Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh always has the tenacity and the fight in them to win games, right? They almost
Yep.
made the playoffs last year without Big Ben.
Yep.
They're a well-coached football team. They always have a good defense, always have good linebackers. They got Minka Fitzpatrick back there picking every ball that you can. To me, this is going to be a tough game. I actually have us losing this game. And the reason why I have us losing this game is because it's the Steelers. You don't put nothing past the Steelers. And with the Steelers, they're a tough football team mentally and physically. And they have good linebackers. They have Watt on the defensive line. So there's a lot of now. Offensively, I know they're not as powerful as they used to be. But I still don't underestimate Big Ben. Until we can get the job done, I got us losing this game. What about you?
Wow. That's some great points. I think this game will be a challenge for us, man. I know it's at home, and Pittsburgh, as they always do, they're going to fill out the stadium. So the stadium's going to be, black and gold throughout, I'm sure. Not to say that would make a factor in this game, but I actually think, I just seen Ben Roethlisberger. He shaved his head. He's out throwing and things of that nature. And Pittsburgh almost made, as you said, made the playoffs with me at quarterback, right? They just had whoever, and they still were being. It actually might have been Mike Tomlin's best year he's ever coached, because I didn't really feel that they had a lot of talent, especially throwing the ball, of course, because they had 5 different quarterbacks last year. But what I will say about Pittsburgh, what will cause us an issue, is the fact that Ben is coming back. When you look at Juju Smith-Schuster, he's going to look to try to get that 5th-year option, so he's going to be motivated to come in and play. You got, Eric Ebron, the tight end, is now with them. And like I said, defensively, you got T.J. Watt. You got Minka Fitzpatrick. You got some ball hawks on defense with Pittsburgh. And I think that's where they might be a bit underrated, is on the defense with Bud Dupree and those guys. You got Devin Bush. So you got guys on defense for Pittsburgh that can cause problems. And they're very well coached. And, can Derrick Henry run against them? I think it actually will be a challenge for them to run against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I think with Ben coming back, if he's healthy, I think that's the X factor. So I'm saying the Tennessee Titans will actually lose this game on the fact that Big Ben is coming back. You got to look at, the running game is what's questionable for me with them, because you got Connor, who's often injured. When he does plays pretty well. He doesn't scare me, anything like that. But this is a well-coached team. They don't make a lot of mistakes. You got your captain back. Pittsburgh always plays the Titans very well. And ironically, the Steelers beats us when we're the better team that year. And and vice versa, the other way around. We've beaten the Steelers on years that they won the Super Bowl. We beat them in the regular season. So to kind of bold that same situation, I actually think this is a loss for the Titans. And I think it's a good loss, and I'm saying this to say right now, for me, I have the Titans 2-2 in the first 4 games. So I think you got to iron those things out early. So as the stretch of the season comes on, then you start winning football games, because the Tennessee Titans of the past 4 years historically has not started off well. We've had to come out of the gutter to win football games, and I think the same will kind of come through next year. So I have us 2-2. Jock, you got us 3-1, bro.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, see what we got next.
Yes, sir. Your boys. Your boys, them Buffalo Bills. Man.
I can't stand them, bro.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of them either, man. And it's nothing personal. It's just I know you went to the game, and I know a few Bills fans that let me have it when we lost to them. So nothing personal, but the Bills fans let us have it, and we understand. Even on our podcast that we had on the Bills, all those fans let us have it, man. So this is how many years in a row have we played the Buffalo Bills in the regular season? Is this the 3rd time in a row?
Say 3.
3, and it's been week 5, 3 years in a row, right? At home. So the Buffalo fans who were down here, was so many down here. And again, I didn't go to the game, but I actually had to work that day, and I work in downtown. all of downtown was Buffalo Bill fans, man, and that's cool. So
Yeah.
they get a chance to come back down here. So for me, I actually think this is a game. It's going to be a revenge game for us, where Buffalo probably don't have this game. They probably have the Houston Texans probably, wrote down in their schedule. For us, this is what we have down on our schedule circle. We have this game circled. This is a revenge game for us because not only did we lose to them last year, the year before we lost to them, which hurt our playoff seeding, right? There's no way we should have lost to Buffalo 2 years in a row. And so what I would say about this game is Buffalo doesn't scare me. Okay, they don't. I know defensively Buffalo is really good. Okay, you got Tre'Davious White, as you mentioned, probably the best corner in the league that no one talks about. Tre'Davious White's unbelievable. He's good enough to be an MVP candidate. That's how good he is. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but now you got Josh Norman. So they've updated and upgraded some spots on defense. I get that. Ed Oliver right now is in trouble. The defensive tackle. I don't know what might happen in that regard and everything. And then you got to look at the running game. They got Devin Singletary on offense. Frank Gore's gone. And again, Stephon Diggs, the receiver now. So they've gotten a bit better. But you still got number 17 out there, and that's Josh Allen. He doesn't scare me, folks. He doesn't. I think the Titans are going to stack and dare Devin Singletary to run the football. We're going to smack him in his mouth, and then we're going to say, Josh Allen, throw the ball, bro. Throw the ball. Throw the ball. Now, the strength of our defense is our DBs, okay? Now, we don't have Logan Ryan. We understand that, but we got Christian Fulton. We still got Malcolm Butler. We still got Adoree Jackson. We got Kenny Vaccaro. We still have Kevin Byard. We dare you to throw the football. Yes, you have a few receivers, but I think it's going to come down to Josh Allen making plays, and I just don't think he's going to make enough. So I still think we can run against the Bills. I think passing against them might be a challenge, but I think we can run against them. So, and we are at home. I think that we will beat the Buffalo Bills on week 5. What about for you, sir?
So with the Buffalo Bills, I that's one of my teams I can't stand. uh, with the Buffalo Bills, like you said, like you mentioned, Tre'Davious White, man, in my opinion, even when I seen him come out of LSU, I did a lot of film study on Tre'Davious White, and I wanted the Titans to actually get him, but I'm glad we got Adoree. But I mean, he's a shutdown corner, in my opinion. He's a shutdown corner. So we just got to expect, hey, he's going to mirror AJ Brown. And this will be a challenge for AJ Brown because AJ Brown, and now you're our number one receiver. You are our premier receiver now. So you have to get over that hump and that obstacle to make plays, right?
Yep.
But the thing about the Titans is, think about it. When we played the Bills last year, we had Mariota. We play them this year, we have Tannehill, okay? Something that Tannehill knows. He knows the Bills. He played in the AFC East. He knows their tendencies, okay? So that's something that, we have to look at, right? Yes, defensively, they gotten better with Josh Norman, but Josh Norman is on his down decline. I mean, he's becoming slower, so he doesn't really scare me. I'm like, when he played the Redskins that year, we did pretty good against them. So it's just really where Josh Norman doesn't scare me. I'm like, okay. Like you said, they still got Singletary. But Josh Allen, that game last year, what I seen was we almost beat the Bills by just a mistake. We couldn't score any points on offense, okay? That was our problem. Maybe if we had Tannehill, maybe we would have scored a late touchdown or something. You see what I'm saying? But we couldn't score points. If we were able to score points against the Bills, then we could have beat them. But the problem is Josh Allen doesn't scare me. Now, they put Josh Allen on this pedestal like he's the next best thing. In my opinion, he's average at best, okay? And we kind of had it with the Bills fans because they were like, well, you don't know Josh Allen, he's this, he's that. I understand that, okay? I understand he got y'all to the playoffs, but he's not going to get y'all to the promised land, right? So with this game, I know they still got a good defensive line. If Derek can't get off, which I think he will, we have enough weapons now to the point, and I mentioned this at the beginning of the show. Tannehill is building chemistry with his receivers, okay? It's the offseason. He's building chemistry with Jonnu. He already has chemistry with AJ. Once he builds chemistry with Corey. Once you get those tendencies down and you build chemistry with your receivers, it's almost second nature. So something tells me this time it's going to be a different show. This is going to be a revenge game for the Titans. And I feel like the Titans are going to want to put up points. So I feel like Arthur Smith is going to dial up a game. Hey, let's air the ball out a little bit more. Let's make him respect the pass and then open up the run. So I have us winning this game as well. Because I feel like it's a different focus, and I feel like Vrabel, as him being the coach, he has a different mentality where this same mistake that happened last year is not going to happen again, right? That's the Patriot way. We study your tendencies, it's not going to happen again. welcome to the Tennessee Patriots.
Right.
But
Got to.
it's serious. So I have us winning this game, man.
Cool. Cool. All right. So Jacques, right now you are 4-1. I'm 3-2.
All right,
Yep.
let's see what
Yep.
we got next,
All
man.
right.
Let's
Who's
see what
next? Who's next?
Texan
Them
boys.
Houston Texans.
What
Them
you got, Hall?
Texans.
What you got?
So for Houston. All right. So as we all know, DeAndre Hopkins got traded for a bag of chips.
For
Okay.
sure.
Uh, number 10 has always been a problem for us. And you and I went to the game last year when the Texans beat us. Deshaun Watson and D Hop was a problem in the second. There was nothing we could do. We couldn't stop him. It's just what it was, right? And Deshaun Watson, every time he was, being pressured, and the Titans had a lot of good pressure on him last year. When he was throwing the football, he was always looking for D Hop. D Hop is now in Arizona, so he's no longer with Houston. So when I'm looking at Houston, I'm looking at a team that's trying to rebuild. I don't think Deshaun Watson wants that right now, but I think that's what they're doing. Yes, they signed Brandon Cooks. Yes, they traded for David Johnson in the D Hop trade. But David Johnson, I don't know. He's right now an overpaid running back right now, and so I don't know what he can bring. Carlos Hyde did a serviceable job last year, but I do think the Houston Texans' issue is the running game. I think you don't have to worry too much about them running the ball as to why DeAndre Hopkins has to run for his life every game to figure out how to win. I'm telling you, Deshaun Watson is unbelievable. I'm going to say that. He might be the best player in the division, but I think he's a one-man show at this time. You can't trust Will Fuller, who I always feel like who's always brought a problem to the Titans, but he might get hurt. That's very likely. So that's why they brought in Randall Cobb, who is from East Tennessee. But I just think right now with Houston, their issue is their defense. I said even last year, their run defense was very poor, and it showed. The only player that was making tackles was Zach Cunningham, the Vanderbilt product. But, they've lost a lot of players on defense. When you have him as your best defensive player and your D-line is, yes, they have J.J. Watt, but J.J. Watt's banged up. I mean, I don't know what to expect from him next year. He'll get his sacks, but I don't think he's the playmaker that he used to be. It's just happened as of age. And J.J. Watt's a Hall of Famer, so it's just a matter of time that happens. But defensively is where they're going to struggle, and I think Derrick Henry is going to have a heck of a game. Now, I give Houston credit; they did a pretty decent job last year on the second game, but I do think that overall, I just think that they don't have enough strength up front. Laramie Tunsil, yes, on their offensive line, Tunsil's a pretty good ball player, so their front five might do a pretty good job in blocking our interior defensive linemen. But I'm not worried about their passing game. I'm not worried about their running game. I'm not worried about their run stopping game. I think Derrick Henry's going to have a heck of a game. It's a home game. I have this down as a victory for us. Tennessee will definitely win this football game. What about for you, Jacques?
So with the Texans, them losing D Hop is huge. Okay,
Yep.
like we've been blessed as Titans fans to lose Andrew Luck. We lost Jalen Ramsey, Calais Campbell, AJ Boye. We lost D Hop. The division is handed to you on a silver platter, man.
Really
Like
is.
literally, it is.
Facts, no
like,
paper.
Like you said, they traded him for a bag of chips. David Johnson, they're relying on David Johnson that 1 year that he had a breakout year. David Johnson hasn't been the same. Okay, like you said, they signed Laramie Tunsil. Will Fuller, you snap your fingers, he breaks his hamstring. Randall Cobb is a good serviceable receiver. He's good when you need him to be. Brandon Cooks is okay. It's like almost they tried to get more athletic on the receiving core versus having a D Hop who can handle the workload and the payload, which it doesn't make sense. And what Bill O'Brien is doing with this team is you're going to almost have the Jacksonville effect where don't nobody want to play for you. It'll get to the point where Deshaun wants to leave. He's like, hey, get me out of here. You got rid of D Hop. Why would you do that? Get me out of here, okay? Defensive and something about the Titans that I'm noticing. On that latter part of the year, even though the Texans had their second string and third string in there, whatever everybody wants to say, I still feel like the Titans are going in with momentum to the point where Vrabel is becoming a coach where I understand your tendencies now, right? I understand how you tick. Hey, if we get pressure on D Hop, like you said, he's running for his life. We got faster in the secondary, people. Remember that. Christian Fulton is faster than Logan Ryan. People have to understand that. That's why we picked up Christian Fulton for situations like this. D Hop Watson likes to scramble. he throws on the run. Him and Patrick Mahomes are some of the best quarterbacks I've seen throw on the run. Besides Big Steve. Stephen A was fabulous at that as well. But with this game, I have us winning it. I do. I have us winning it because they're in a rebuild. They're in a small rebuild right now. And I feel like they gave Bill O'Brien so much power that he doesn't know what to do with the power. And he's just doing stupid stuff with it. And you're like, okay, why are you picking him up and you had him? And why are you picking him up and you had him? So that's the dumbest anything on the offseason, the dumbest thing and the dumbest trade I've ever seen in my life was that D-Hop trade. That was the dumbest trade that I ever seen. I'm sorry, Texas fans, and I feel your pain.
I do too.
Fan, I feel your pain. I'm sorry. I apologize on behalf of a Titans fan. But no, I got us winning this game, man.
Okay. All right. So Jacques, right now you are 5-1. I'm 4-2. Okay. All right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let's see what we got next.
All right. We got them Cincinnati Bengals.
Got them Bengals, man.
Yep. Yep. Them Bengals. Who they, right? So, right. Jacques, talk to me. What about these Cincinnati Bengals?
So, we all know they got Joe Burrow, okay? The next savior, the next Tom Brady, as they say, the next Jesus. That's what the Bengals fans or the Bengals fans are saying, hey, they're here. We're here. But I'm not afraid, okay? Defensively, I think they still got Pac-Man. I
think Pac-Man is retired. I think he just retired.
Yep. Kirkpatrick, I think he's still there.
Yeah, I think Kirkpatrick is gone too.
Didn't they have BW Webb too?
Yeah, they did. A lot of DBs gone though. Yes.
You see what I'm going with? You see what I'm going with this?
Yeah, right. They got LaShawn Sims.
They got Sims. I like Sims, but is he my number 2 or number 1? What we got? They got Jackson in the safety Jackson, so he's pretty good. Yep. With the Bengals, man, offensively they're okay. They still got AJ Green. They got Burrow. They got John Ross, who hasn't really panned out. You got Joe Mixon, who's pretty good, so I like Joe. But with this game, man, the Titans, if you lose this game, you ought to be smacked because and I'm not taking anything from Joe Burrow, and I'm not taking anything from the Bengals. They have a good, serviceable team, but I just don't think they're ready to take that next leap that San Francisco took. You see what I'm saying? They didn't do enough to me in the offseason to get better. They got the quarterback, but in my opinion, what did you add to that quarterback? AJ Green he's up in age, man. He's not the same AJ Green as of years past. John Ross was supposed to be this big prospect who was supposed to be, hey, the fast. He is the fastest guy that ever ran the 40. I understand that, but you just can't go off of speed, man. Do you know the route tree? Can you run routes? And sometimes I feel like Cincinnati doesn't use him right. I'm like, if you're gonna use him, use his speed correctly. But I got us winning this game, man.
Okay.
It's November the 1st. It's gonna be cold. It's at Cincy. And the Titans have historically owned the Bengals. Like, this is historically, going back to the Oilers, going back to the early Titans years with Eddie George and Steve. And they're not the same old Bengals. We remember Husmazada. We remember Chad Johnson. We remember they had T.O. Remember all these years. So, I got a W, man, 6-1. What you got?
So, for us, man, with a very unproven team, they've signed a lot of free agents, man. It's a combination of Trey Waynes from Minnesota. They got Von Bell from the Saints. They just got a whole bunch of just patchwork.
People.
Yes, they do. Even DJ Reader from the Texans. They just have a bunch of just patchwork. And so I think Cincinnati is in trouble in this game. I think, yes, it's going to be a lot of pressure on Joe Burrow, who, again, the news is still out on him. We don't know yet. Again, he's a rookie. I think maybe a little bit overhyped. He's the first pick, and I understand the overhypeness. He's played the best college season ever, so I understand what he brings in that regard as far as the hype. But Joe Mixon is a pretty good running back. I think Joe Mixon could actually have a pretty decent game. AJ Green, we don't know what to expect from him. Coming from his injuries and things. I think at this time he'll probably be traded by this time because AJ Green wants to go. He wants to go somewhere and win football games. He probably won't even be with the team. But just say if he is, AJ Green will still be a problem. But besides that, that's all they have. I'm not worried about John Ross. Yeah, he's fast, but he's probably had the most 30 catches in a season probably. So I'm not worried about John Ross.
I don't think he had that either.
He might not have. Yep. So when you look at their defense, again, it's just just as we stated, LaShawn Sims played for him. Nothing against LaShawn Sims. LaShawn Sims is a good ball player, but to say he's going to shut down receivers, I don't see that, right? When I look at even Burns, the linebacker from Baltimore, again, just a bunch of B-list guys on the defense, and so it's going to take time for them to gel. I don't think Cincinnati's a good football team, and it's just that simple. I think Derrick Henry can have a heck of a football game. So I'm going to say the Cincinnati Bengals don't have a chance against the Titans. Tennessee will definitely win this football game. So absolutely.
Side note, I think this might be Derrick Henry's one of his highest rushing games right here.
Probably so, man. Probably so. Probably so.
So we'll go to the next one. We got them birds, man. Them birds.
Them birds, right. The birds. All right. So Jacques, right now I am 5-2. And you're 6-1. Okay. Sound like a good team at this point. Okay, so the Bears, the Chicago Bears. This is going to be an interesting game for me. I think a lot of it will be based upon the fact I don't know who they're going to have at quarterback right now, right? And there's a lot of speculation. When you look at the fact that Mitchell Trubisky's there, Nick Foles is there. Do any of them scare me? Not at all. I think that's probably the main reason why they will not beat the Tennessee Titans. They got Khalil Mack, of course. He's going to be a problem. He's going to get about 2 sacks. I don't think there's nothing we can do to stop this guy, no matter who's at tackle. Taylor Lewan would still have a problem with him, I think. They even got Quinn on the other side, Robert Quinn. He's a good defensive end as well. But, when you look at him, offensively, they got Allen Robinson, former Jag, as receiver. It's okay. Chicago just doesn't have enough. I just don't think they have enough on offense to outscore us. I think we will run the football down the middle. When you look at their defense, they're strong on the outside, but on the inside, they're pretty weak. Their linebackers are, they got Roquan Smith. He's a pretty good linebacker now. But I just think that, Eddie Jackson still plays for them. Defensively is where they're strong, but I still think Derrick Henry will have an opportunity to run the ball. And I think this is a game A.J. Brown could cut up too, because even though they have a strong up-front defense, their corners are okay. Fuller is a good corner, but I think I'd give it to A.J. Brown. And then on the other hand, again, Trubisky, Nick Foles, you're going to have to throw the football because we're going to stop the run. Their running back, who is their running back? Not Jordan Howard, I forgot the running back's name. He's a small running back. Tariq Cohen. Yeah. Yes. So he doesn't scare me. So I think that we would do a great job in eliminating that. So it's going to be up to their quarterback, just like Josh Allen for the Bills. It's going to be up to your quarterback, and they're going to have to outscore us. And I just don't see it. It's a home game. There are going to be a lot of Bears fans here. This is actually be the second time we play the Bears this season because we're going to play them in the preseason in Nashville as well. So, like Dennis, the coach from Dennis Green said, we are who they thought we were. They thought they were, right? It's the Bears. Who plays them in the third game of the preseason act like we ain't never seen them. That's bull crap, right? This is the Dennis Green game. We played the Bears twice in one season. So we'll see what we see in the preseason. We'll come to the regular season and beat the Bears. What about for you, sir?
So me is Mitchell Trubisky. Mitchell Trubisky or Nick Foles. And those two, nah, you're not getting the job done. They thought Mitchell Trubisky was going to be the one, okay? He had that one good season, but you can't equate for one good season. That's the problem that we have in the NFL now is we put these quarterbacks on a pedestal and they have one good season and we expect them to, have that sophomore they elevate as a sophomore, but they have that sophomore slump versus an elevation. And that's the problem with the Bears. And I think they'll be looking for a quarterback in next year's draft. Defensively, like you said, Hall, they're strong on defense. They got Khalil, they got Eddie, they got Quinn. They're good on defense, but that's what held them together. That's what holds them together, and it can only hold you together for so long. Like I said, the Titans have some weapons to the point where if they can all gel. If one weapon falls and your next weapon comes up, that weapon falls and next weapon comes up. We have a receiving running back, so you just added more weapons. So if you can utilize your weapons and if Arthur Smith can call a smart game, then yes, I think we're winning the game. It's just off the fact that Mitchell Trubisky or Nick Foles is not the answer, and you have to score points. See, I feel like the Titans last year, we scored points. Okay, we put major points on the board. It was like 4 or 5 games where we scored like 40 points and up. We
Yes,
were
sir.
averaging like 26 points a game. So something too that the when you have a defensive strong team, that means your offense is not strong and you're not scoring points. And that's something that they're going to have to do if you're going to have to play us. And then remember, we still got number 22. Every 22 has a target on his back, all right? There's a humongous target on his back. But at the same time, I feel like Arthur Smith has enough experience now that, hey, we're going to mix it up. We're going to mix it up. And I feel like we're going to throw a little bit more this year versus running, okay? And it may sound crazy because what you're doing is you're taking that target off his back, and we need the king. Hey, king, here you go. Hand off. Do your thing, right?
Yep.
So I have us winning this game, man.
Okay. Sounds good. Hey, Zoc, man, you got them 7-1, bro. I got them. I have them 6-2. Okay.
It's about to break soon, so get ready.
All right. Okay. All right. Cool, man. All right. The next game, the Indianapolis Colts here in Nashville, Thursday night. Jock, what you thinking, bro?
So they got Phillip Rivers, right?
Yep.
I honestly think this is our biggest threat in our division. Okay, and I've always said this about the Colts. Hawk, you remember that year when we went to the playoffs? We missed the playoffs because of them, and I told you who scares me is the Colts.
Yes, sir.
Colts is one of those teams that sneakily gets better each year by adding small pieces. They added DeForest Buckner, who's a hell of a defensive tackle, man.
Yep.
When he was with the 49ers, he was a hell of a defensive tackle. When he was at Oregon, because I think he went to Oregon, he was a hell of a defensive tackle. And they still got Houston on the line. Okay. The secondary, but the thing what the Colts do, they play good zone defense. They're one of the best zone teams I've ever seen on defense.
Yes.
Mariota could never throw against the Colts for some reason because they play a good zone. I honestly think we're home. We're 7-1. It's November the 12th. I feel like the Titans are gonna drop this one.
Okay.
And I know Phillip Rivers is looking for that revenge game. He's got a new team. You got T.Y. But I feel like we're going to drop it. It's going to be close, but I feel like we're going to drop it because with T kicks in, it's the Colts. We still can't get that hump over where we can sweep the Colts, but I think we're dropping it. So I have us losing this game.
Okay. So I do think this game is going to be a challenge, and I would tell you now the Indianapolis Colts will make the playoffs. And so I think this is a playoff team that we're playing. As you mentioned, they have Phillip Rivers. They have, DeForest Buckner. They got Marlon Mack, T.Y. Hilton. They got the linebacker in Darius Leonard. I mean, they got ball players all over the field. What I liked about what the Colts have done is their draft. You got Jonathan Taylor. With him and Marlon Mack running, you got Michael Pittman Jr. that's going to be playing receiver, which I think that's what they needed with some more receivers. I think the Colts have gotten better than they were last year, and the Colts always play tough. They're coached very well by Frank Reich. So I think this game will be a tough game, but I do think we'll win this football game. And I say that based on the fact that, Phillip Rivers, we have learned how to play Phillip Rivers. And it was a while when he was playing with the Chargers that he owned us, man. We calling him daddy. But lately, we've understood how to play him. And so this will be the second year in a row that we've played the Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers, when you look at the weapons on the outside, I wouldn't say it's gotten better for him. I think he might have had better weapons in L.A. with the Chargers. I think what will help us in this particular game is the fact that, we just mentioned a lot of guys, a lot of rookies in Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman. So they're going to be relying on guys that they've never had to rely on before. Now, this is in the midseason, so again, this team would have gelled at this time, but you still gotta stop us. And I think where we would do well is throwing the football. I think A.J. Brown, Corey Davis, Jonnu Smith, Adam Humphries, I think they're going to have a heck of a game against the Colts. Yes, they play a good zone defense. They really do. But when you look at the Colts, they don't tackle well on the outside. So A.J. Brown could catch a curl and be gone 50 yards. Corey Davis can do the exact same thing. So I think we'll challenge them on the perimeter. Derrick Henry will probably have an average game because the Colts do a very good job with Derrick Henry. Just historically has done that. But I think this is a game where Ryan Tannehill can win the football game. So I'm going to give it to the Titans on this one. It's a home game. I think the Titans will get it done. Yep.
So are we at 7-2?
We are 7-2. 7-2. Both of us 7-2. All right. Next game. Oh my gosh. The Ravens.
Your boys.
I know, right? My boys, right?
Boys.
Oh, the Ravens. And we're being very sarcastic. He's saying them are my boys, just like I'm saying about Buffalo, because we can't stand the Ravens.
Can't stand them.
Can't stand them. But I'm sure they feel the same way. I mean, again, nothing personal, but when it comes down to it, man, the Ravens have been the team that I've despised since the beginning, man. They've always been the team that's been a thorn on our side, or we've been a thorn to their side. It's just how it goes. And when we played with them in our division, when it was the AFC Central, man, it was a gridlock every year, man. So the Ravens, it's in Baltimore. We got to play them at M&T Bank, as they call. You got to see me at the bank, right? This is going to be a tough game. Baltimore's gotten better, ladies and gentlemen. And the reason they've gotten better, just as we mentioned how, there are certain teams that circle games on the calendar. You don't think after we beat them in the playoffs and the Baltimore, they're gonna win the Super Bowl, Baltimore this and Baltimore that, and we beat them jokers. So you don't think they've circled this game? Oh, they're gonna come in this game angry. This is on my son's birthday, too, November 22nd. They're gonna be angry when they play us. We probably won't come with that much anger, man. We're like, man, we beat these guys. Yeah, right? What they've done is they've gotten better in the draft. You look at you look at their defense. That's where they struggled last year in the run defense. But they drafted the linebacker from LSU. We say, I'm sorry. Yes, Quinn. Yes, they drafted Quinn. There was a reason why they did that. They got Calais Campbell. This was all a plan to stop the Tennessee Titans, right? I think that is their zero focus. And, we made Lamar Jackson look average. We did. So we exposed them. So we pretty much gave everyone sort of the platform on how to beat the Baltimore Ravens. Now, I know they got J.K. Dobbins, the rookie, as well. But if you notice, we're speaking a lot about rookies. And at the end of the day, they're still not proven. Just because you're a rookie and you're a first-round pick doesn't mean you're going to be a playmaker. But what I would say on this game, I think we're going to lose this football game. I really do. One, it's in Baltimore. I know we beat them in the playoffs. I get that. We beat Baltimore because we out-coached Baltimore, okay? Dean Pease is no longer here, ladies and gentlemen, okay? So the pressure's going to be on Mike Vrabel to stop Baltimore's offense. Lamar Jackson is the best running quarterback in the NFL that I've ever seen. And so we have to deal with that. And you have Mark Ingram, you got J.K. Dobbins. You got a running team that's going to come at us, okay? Where we were struggling last year in the run game, on our run defense, we're going to have to really step it up. But I think we will lose this game strictly off emotion. I think Baltimore is going to come in angry. They're going to understand what they need to do to stop Derrick Henry. And I think this is going to be a loss for us, man. So what about you, Jacques?
Man, Hulk, you said a mouthful, my brother. But hey, you're right, Patrick. They like you said, they've drafted. They got Mbuke from Texas A&M. They got Patrick Queen. They got Calais. And like you said, it's emotion, man. Like I feel like the Titans, even in the Titans' mind, when they get ready to play this game, they're gonna be like, hey, you'll hear when they get ready to play. Yeah. This game is not going to be easy. Now, when you hear any ball player, anybody say that this is not going to be easy, they know it's not going to be easy. And Derek, no, he can't do the same thing that he did last year to the Ravens. He's not going to be able to do it again this year to the Ravens. And like you said, it's in Baltimore. It's cold again. And I feel like Baltimore's not going to make the same mistake twice. You see what I'm saying? Especially, and they're good in the regular season. Something about Baltimore, they're solid. They're one of the best teams in the regular season. When it comes to the playoffs, hey, it's a whole nother game. They're psyche. They lose focus. Something about what you mentioned was Dean Pease. Dean Pease was the catalyst of that playoff game. He knows how to stop that run option. He knows how to stop the read option. He knows how to. And he did it when the Ravens beat the 49ers in the Super Bowl, and he did it again in the playoffs against Lamar Jackson. So Mike Vrabel is going to either he's going to have to coach. He's going to have to coach offense. He's going to have to be a head coach and a super defensive coach. Or B, you're going to have to hire a defensive coordinator that's going to come in here and do his thing. There's two options. But I have us losing this game just off the fact, like you said, it's going to be an emotional game, man. Because at the end of the day, we were the team that dethroned the Ravens. We gave the NFL the blueprint, which is a simple blueprint that you can literally go back and look at college film and look at college tape and say, hey, that's how you stop the read option. That's how you stop it. Okay, hey, how do you stop it in the NFL? hey, it's the simplest thing. John Harbaugh it's simple. It's a simple thing. You use his strength. Well, hey, NFL, this is how you stop him, right? Now, like I said, this is volume 1, okay? So our thoughts could change.
Yep.
But for right now, it's volume 1. So I have us losing this game, man.
Okay.
We got 7-3.
7-3. 7-3. Both of them. 7-3. Still good.
We haven't started.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
We haven't started this good in years. So
I know. That's right. And I will tell you, the Baltimore Ravens will be a playoff team as well.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. So the trend is we're losing the playoff teams.
Yep. That's what it looks
trend.
like.
I would rather lose to a playoff team than a 2-7 team. So
that's right.
All right. So who we got next? We got the Colts.
We got the Colts again.
Woo.
So what you think, Jacques?
So this one, remember what I said earlier? Mike Vrabel don't make the same mistake twice.
Right.
Okay?
Right. Yep.
Something about Mike. Mike is maturing as a head coach. Okay.
Yep.
It's something that he's doing. Hey, I'm learning my opponent. I'm not gonna let him beat me twice. Okay. I feel like they'll make the needed adjustments. I feel like, hey, like you said earlier, this is when I feel like the pass game will come on. Like some of the situation like it was last year. Lost to him early in the season. And if you know it's in mid-season, we're going to come in the same fashion as we did last year. And A.J. Brown's going to cut up. Khalif Raymond is going to eat. Humphreys is going to eat. Corey's going to eat. John Lewis is going to eat. Derek is going to eat. So, I have us actually winning this game. I had us splitting with the Colts anyway. But I feel like the defense is going to get stronger. I actually feel like we'll win this game pretty big.
Okay.
Because of, like I said, we don't make the same mistake twice. So I have us winning this game.
All right. So something you said that I totally agree with, then disagree with. What I totally agree with is, yes, we will split with the Colts. But what I will disagree with is that I think in this game, we actually will lose this football game. Okay. It's in Indianapolis. The Colts, again, as I mentioned, is a playoff team. They're no pushover. They're a top 5 team in the AFC, I think, coming in the next year. They still have Quentin Nelson, who's arguably the best interior lineman in the league. He is in the league. And I think in this game, given how far along in the season that they are at this time, they will start gelling. Phillip Rivers will understand what's going on. I think as well, the rookies have gotten better. And the fact that we had just seen this team 2 weeks ago. So they are going to be marking this game down because, in my prediction, we will beat them in Nashville. But, when this game comes back around just in 2 weeks, the Colts are going to be like, okay, all right, we know what we need to do to beat the Titans. We're going to make the adjustments. I think the adjustments will be made on the outside because I think the first game that we play them, Tannehill's going to have a field day. And I think the second game, they're going to sort of bring all their corners up. They're going to challenge us. They're going to change the zone scheme because, again, they're a very well-coached team, especially on defense. I think Phillip Rivers will probably have a pretty good game. The game's on turf. The weather's no factor because it's a dome. I actually think this works in their favor. And the one guy that always does well against us is this guy, T.Y. Hilton, right? And I think this might be a game T.Y. might wake up. And when he wakes up, he does great. He predicted 2 years ago, he told Adrian James in the preview game, he said, man, I'm going to get 2 touchdowns, 2 and 150. He didn't say 150. He said 150. And that's exactly what he got. So this might be a T.Y. Hilton game. So I actually have us losing this football game in Indianapolis on Sunday, November 29th.
I like it. So we got it. Yep. We switched. I like it.
Yep.
I like it. Okay.
Yep.
So you got us losing. And something else about Phillip Rivers, he hasn't had a good offensive line like this ever.
That's right.
So that's something that's going to equate to it too. So
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
But and also too, name me a Colts corner besides Quincy Wilson.
Can't do it. I don't know. I'd have to look on their roster.
We did that last year, but I'm just saying.
Because Pierre Desir, he's gone. That was the other corner. He's gone.
Right. He's gone.
Yep.
Right. All right. So
all right. So your record right now, is 8-3.
Yeah.
And I'm 7-4. Okay. Still a good record. The Cleveland Browns. So this game here. So you don't think Cleveland is doing this on their calendar? You don't think they're writing down the Titans after we embarrassed them last year, week 1 of the season? So Cleveland is a weird team. I would tell you, folks, I think Cleveland is a playoff team this year. I really
Mhm.
do.
I do too.
I think offensively, we all know how talented they can be. Baker Mayfield now in his third season is in an opportunity where now he can sort of evolve. As time goes on, you expect someone to get better, especially at quarterback. After that second year, if you can kind of grind it out and get through it, and you come to your third and fourth season, that's when you start seeing a player elevating. And again, he's the first pick of the draft, so there's a reason why he was the first pick. So you have to look at that. I think Cleveland will come in. It's a home game. It's going to be a lot of fans here as well from Cleveland. You got Odell Beckham Jr., of course. You got Jarvis Landry. You got the tight end Ngoku back as well. You got Nick Chubb, who's a heck of a running back. I think was second in the league in rushing behind Derrick Henry, like second or third. So this team is very talented on offense. They really are. I think their challenge would be on defense. Can they stop our run game? Can they stop our pass game? Now, they have better DBs than probably linebackers. When you look at Denzel Ward, the corner, you got Greedy Williams as well. I think they're pretty good corners. Greedy Williams is still trying to figure this guy out. The news is still out on him. But Denzel Ward is a very good cover corner. Can't really tackle that much, but he's a very good cover corner. Their safeties in Jabril Peppers, pretty decent. I think their issue is in the interior on defense. So I actually think this could be a huge game for Derrick Henry. I think offensively, that's going to be a challenge for the Cleveland Browns. So I think that the Titans actually, again, we won't blow them out like we did the first game of the season, but like Delaney Walker says, we are who they thought they were, right? Y'all want to crown the Cleveland Browns? Crown them. But you got to play the football game. So that's what we're going to do on December 6th. We're going to win the football game against the Cleveland Browns. What about for you, Jacques?
Okay, so for me, and I've always said this about this version of the Browns, they're missing a head coach. Okay,
Yep.
if you gave Bill Belichick this team, this would automatically put them in the Super Bowl because they're missing the coach. They're a very emotional team. They're almost like how the Jags were 3 or 4 years ago, where they're very emotional. You have too many emotions in one room. You got Odell. You have Jarvis Landry. You have Baker Mayfield, he has a high ego, right? You have Myles Garrett, who has a big ego. So you got Jabril Peppers. He has some swag to him. So something about the Browns is they're missing that key coach. And I don't even who did they hire as a coach?
It's oh man, trying to think of the coach's name. Uh, I'm drawing a blank.
It wasn't Freddie Kitchen.
Stefanski, Kevin Stefanski.
Okay. See, if I was the general manager of the Browns, I would go out and I would probably get a Marvin Lewis. Okay.
Gotcha. Yep.
He was
the coach. He was the Vikings offensive coordinator last year.
See, and I can't do that. I have to have somebody to come in that's going to coach these egos, right?
Yep.
Because if you can get this team to gel right, if you can get this team to focus, this is a dangerous team.
Yep.
The problem with the Browns is their focus they lack focus, okay? They almost can compete with the Ravens. They blew out the Ravens, the first time?
They did.
They blew them out. So
they gave the floor plan. They showed it.
And we watched that game. We said, oh, the Browns did it. I mean, that is the blueprint of how to stop the Ravens. We televised it. We put it on national TV how to stop the Ravens. They gave us the blueprint to be like, hey, this is how you stop the Ravens, okay? I feel like I'm agreeing with you. They are a playoff team, okay? But I also feel like coming into this game, they're not going to be focused, okay? And we know how Odell is. I like Odell. I do. Don't get me wrong. But he's living off that catch, okay? He hasn't had 1,000. I don't know if did he have 1,000 yards last year? I don't think he did.
I don't think so.
I don't think he did. I mean, he complained more than he played, okay? Jarvis is their number one receiver he's their playmaker, okay?
Right.
They got somewhat better on the offensive line with Jack Conklin. I get it. Miles is coming back. I get it. I'm like you with their secondary. They're good cover guys, but they can't tackle. You can't name their linebackers.
Yep.
With this game, you really don't have to throw it.
He had 1,000 yards, by the way.
Okay, so he did have 1,000 yards. Okay.
Barely.
Barely. So you see what I'm saying? Barely. He had a quiet 1,000 yards. I'm not knocking anything with Odell. Odell's a top 5, top 10 receiver, yes. But at the same time, his focus. He lacks focus. And when you can frustrate him and you can stop him, hey. But the Titans secondary has speed now, something that we didn't have last year besides Adore. We have speed, okay? When you have speed to keep up and compete with these receivers, we got it. It's almost like playing 7-on-7. So now, hey, Adore, you go guard Landry. Hey, Christian, or not even Landry. Hey, Butler, you guard Landry, right? Adore, you guard Odell. Hey, Christian, you sit here and you guard their third receiver, whoever is their third receiver, Taywan Taylor. So I have us winning this game as well. It's not going to be a blowout. It's going to be a fight. But at the same time, I have us winning this game pure off of the Cleveland Browns won't be focused. They'll be emotional. We don't know what their record will be about time this point of the season, so we don't know, okay? But I still think they're a playoff team, but I still think we'll win the game. And we at home? Yes, I got us winning.
Cool. Okay. So you're at 9-3. I'm at 8-4. Okay. All right. So next.
At the Kitties, man.
Yep.
So with the Kitties, we sweeping them. This is a sweep, okay? In my opinion, like we said earlier when we played them, they're focused. Nobody wants to play for this team, man. And I hate that with the Jags. Jags had it. They had the crown in their hand. Yep. Fournette wants to go, like you said, and Njoku might be gone. They might trade him at the beginning of the season, so that's a piece that you left. You have Josh Allen, which I like. You have Miles Jack, which I like. He's emotional as well, okay? You got Gardner Minshew, who, to me, he's good to be a 6th-round pick, but at the same time, I did see flaws in his game last year. Not anything I'm like, hey, he's this top-notch quarterback. He's serviceable, don't get me wrong, but there's flaws in his game. You got Shark out there, Clark. So he's still a good receiver. You got DJ. So with this game, I feel like it's on a Sunday, December 13th at Jacksonville, and we own Duval County. Derek and them like, hey, let's do what we got to do and get this W. So I feel like we're sweeping the Jags this year. Yes, I do. So it's a W for me, man. We 10-3.
Agreed, sir. So I'm going to also say that this is a victory as well, 9-4 for me. I think that this is a walk in the park. The only way I would think if we were to lose is for some reason we're getting close to a playoff spot or something at this point, but we still got it may still be too early because we have 3 more games left. So I'll disregard what I just said. But if anything, Jacksonville might be tanking to get a better draft pick by this time. I think Jacksonville is going to have a very poor season. I think that, Derrick Henry will still have a great game. I think A.J. Brown will have a great game. I think this might be an A.J. Brown game. I think they'll do everything they can to try to stop 22, which they still haven't done. But I think that, it'll be a time for someone else to step up, maybe a Jonnu Smith. I think the passing game will be open in this game. Again, Jacksonville's strength is their pass rush because they're a very fast football team on the outside still. Even when them drafting Clayson from LSU, they have a lot of speed, okay? But what I will say about Jacksonville is, again, offensively, it's still going to be a challenge. I don't really think Leonard Fournette will be on the team at that time, but I can only just say that. But just say if that is not the case, if he still is on the football team, he doesn't pose a threat. Leonard Fournette has never posed a threat against us. And it's so crazy. Leonard Fournette is really weird. Like last year, he had his best season he ever had. When you look at his career, it's been very average at best. He doesn't scare anybody. So they just don't have enough. You got to score some points. As you mentioned earlier, the Titans know how to score. Jacksonville they just don't have enough. So this is a victory for us in Jacksonville. Duval County will be there. Do not, as we say.
I agree.
Yep.
I agree. I can't agree more. Like you said, we're going to sweep them. It is what it is.
Yes, sir.
All right. Who we got next? We got the Lions.
The Detroit Lions. Detroit. All right. So I actually think this will be a very good game, a very tough game for us. It is a home game. Detroit will bring their fans as well. When you look at the Detroit Lions, they've picked up even a few Patriots. Detroit has had a whole lot of free agents being signed as well. They've had a lot of good rookies. They got drafted as well. When you look at, they drafted DeAndre Swift from Georgia. You got Trufant from the Falcons, the corner. So you have a lot of different players. Detroit is, they always play it tough, but Detroit just never has the muster to win. Matt Stafford is still their quarterback. Matt Stafford is still a very good quarterback. But when you look on the outside, you got Marvin Jones as their best receiver. Marvin Jones is a pretty good wide receiver, but they don't have enough. And
Right.
I think their weakness is their interior defensive line. They don't have, Ndamukong Suh anymore. They don't have that presence. And then you lost, Slay, the corner on the outside. So you have to look at like, wow, we've lost some of our best players over the past several years and just lost our best player on defense. He's gone. And so he's gone to the Eagles. So Detroit's defense is going to be a major struggle in this game. I really think we can do whatever we want against them defensively. I think they'll be able to score some points. Kerryon Johnson's a pretty good running back. I think, again, offensively, they're pretty good. They have a pretty good offensive line, too. But I think defensively is where Detroit struggles. They added some players, but, no one that's a game changer. Their DBs are pretty weak. So you can pass and run against them. This is a victory for the Titans, man. What about for you, sir?
So with the Detroit Lions, like they don't have the, like you said, they don't have that it factor. They got the coach Patricia from he's Bill Belichick product, which is okay. But to me, they drafted the DB from Ohio State, which that was a good pickup. It's a real good pickup.
It is.
Like you said, they got the Georgia running back Swift. Stafford is one of those quarterbacks that he's very serviceable, but he can really never get you to the playoffs. He really can never get you over that hump. So I feel like that's what they're missing. Defensively, something too, like you said, interior, they're not strong. They're going to rely on their DBs and their corners. And Trufant is a decent corner, but I mean, what we did to him last year in Atlanta, AJ ate him up.
Yep.
And like I said, even with the Ohio State prospect, is it a
Jeff Okudah?
Okudah. The thing about Jeff Okudah, I can't give him that crown yet. I have to literally see what he does.
Mm-hmm.
Do I trust him? Is he a Jalen Ramsey? I have more confidence with Jalen Ramsey coming out of college than I have with Okudah. So I don't know. I feel like this will be a game where Derek will have a huge game. I feel like it'll be a good mix of run and pass, but I feel like this will be a Derrick Henry game. And for some reason, the Titans do very good against the NFC teams because I feel like NFC teams, not saying they're not tough, but they don't play that physical football as the AFC teams do. We play very physical, and I think our physicality will basically outweigh them, and it'll wear them down. We're more physical; they're more finesse. Physical or beat. You can beat with finesse, but at the same time, if I'm more physical than you, hey, I'm gonna beat you. And they just don't have any receivers on their offense that really scares me. So I feel like, hey, we're gonna get this win. It's at home. We haven't played Detroit in years. Like, it's been years. The last time I can't even remember when we played Detroit. But, yeah, I feel like this is going to be a good W, man. So, what? I'm,
cool.
11-3?
And I'm 10-4. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see what we got next.
Next game.
The Packers.
The frozen tundra.
Green
Bay, Wisconsin. So, Jacques, what do you think about these Pack boys, man?
So, it's in Green Bay. Super cold. Matt LaFleur at the helm.
Your boy.
My boy. We got Aaron Rodgers. You got the receiver Devontae Adams. You have that boy Jay Alexander on the opposite side at corner. They're an okay team. I feel like with this game, last time we played the Packers was when we had Munchak. We had a mediocre team and we beat them. I mean, we blew them jokers out the water.
Yep.
And Aaron Rodgers at the time didn't have a Devontae Parker, right? Or Devontae Adams, excuse me. Got a decent running back, but I feel like this game is going to be one of those games where, to me, I call it a focus game. And the Titans have a lot of focus games, okay?
Right.
And a lot of those games where they lack focus at the wrong time.
Facts, no paper.
Where did your focus go? And I feel like fatigue, the season is long. This is a part of the latter part of the season where you're kind of tired, you're beat up, your focus is not there. And you I got us at 11-3 right now?
Yep. 11-3. 11-3.
11-3? Why not, man? So it's going to be one of those things. We're gearing up for the playoffs, okay?
Yep.
We got our playoff spot. We locked in. We not quite in, but we locked in, okay?
Okay.
I feel like we're going to lose this game.
Okay.
I feel like we'll lose this game just off the pure fact of focus. I'm not saying talent or anything, just the focus. I call it a focus game. I feel like the Titans will come in here not focused, and I feel like just the fatigue of the season, this is a playoff team too. Green Bay is a playoff team.
Yes, they are. They are.
So, like I said, this to me, this is a focus game. So, what about you?
Dude, Man, I agree 100%. I actually think this will be a tough game for the Titans. When you look at the Green Bay Packers, it's in Green Bay. It's going to be so cold in this game, right? December 27th, Santa Claus just left the building. It's going to be so cold. When you look at that, yes, they have Matt LaFleur. I don't know if that would make a difference, but LaFleur, for those who don't know, was our offensive coordinator just 2 years ago. If you look at where we are in the season, kind of like how we did with the Saints this year. It's an NFC game. Yeah, we could play it however it might be, right? Where we might not have to put so much focus in this game. And I know that's crazy, but even like last year, the Saints game was a hit or miss. Either you win or you lose. It didn't really matter. So I think this game sort of bows in that same situation. Aaron Rodgers is going to be ready. I think they're going to be fighting for their lives to make the playoffs in a tough NFC. So they're going to be playing their best. The running back in Aaron Jones, he had a pretty good season last year, but who knows by next year how that's going to be. Devontae Adams will still be out there. I think he's going to have a big game against us. I think defensively, when you look at the Packers, I felt, even though they made it far in the playoffs last year, I felt defensively that was a weak point for them on the interior, right? Like you could run against the Packers. I was watching the game. I said, man, if the Titans played them in the Super Bowl, we would run all over these cats, right? So I really think this game, we will lose this game, not so much because they are the better team, because I think team for team, we could probably match up very well with them, probably to the point where we might even be more talented to them. But
I agree.
we're playing in Green Bay. It's going to be very cold. Aaron Rodgers is going to be trying to throw the lights out. You got unproven players like Devin Funchess that's ready to step in and show out and do things. When you look at the Packers, they made the playoffs last year. They'll probably make it again next year. I think it's a good football team. So you can't come in half stepping on a team that just made the playoffs and it can make it again. When you have number 12 out there, you're liable to win any football game. So this is a loss for me. I actually have us losing this football game as well, like you stated as well. So this is a loss for me. It's a loss.
So, side note too, and I believe the playoff format has changed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think this year is when you get that extra team in the playoffs. So
Right.
I think a team can go literally 9-8 and get into the playoffs. Okay, so right now you got them at 11-5. I got us at what, 11,
I have us at 10-5. You
10
have
and
us
5,
having them at 11-4, and with
11
one
and
more
4.
game left. Yep.
Okay. So this next game, let's get to this game. Now remember, people, and you can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I think the playoff format has changed, and I think it's changing in this upcoming season. So if you're 9-8, you can get in the playoffs. Now keep in mind what I just said. Let's go to this next game. What we got, Hall?
The Houston Texans.
Yep.
So this is the last game of the season. We seem to always play Houston in the last game of the season. I would say that I'd almost want to say we might lose this game, but I'm going to say we're going to win this football game because I think the fact that I don't see Houston making the playoffs this year. I know they made it last year. Not only did they make it, but they did win the first game that they played. And then they gave Kansas City some fits in the first half, and the Kansas City just woke up and just blew them out the water. When I look at them, and I'm actually trying to figure out how the playoff seeds are as well. So in the comments, I'm trying to think. I don't know if that's next year, Jacques. I think it's the year after. I don't know if it's this year.
Hold on. I'm looking it up now,
Okay.
man.
Okay. But when I look at the Houston Texans in this game, I look at one factor. They are going to be looking to draft high next year. And so I think they will be putting pretty much everybody, Deshaun Watson, all these guys on the bench to say, look, man, this season's done. Tennessee, do whatever you have to. And for us, this is a meaning game for us because it might put us in a place where we can get home field advantage in the playoffs. Maybe it could have it where we can get a bye. And I know the Kansas City Chiefs are still out there. We understand that. But I think this game, the Ravens are out there. I understand that this game here for us will be just kind of like an ink pencil game where Houston is just kind of just doing whatever. I don't see Deshaun Watson and them guys playing. And even if they did, I just don't see Houston being talented enough to beat the Titans. It is in Houston. When you look at the fact that Derrick Henry can have a heck of a game versus them, I think A.J. Brown, this could be a very good game for A.J. Brown in our offense, Jonnu Smith and those guys. This is a victory for us simply off the fact Houston is not going to be playing their players. I don't think so. I think this is not a playoff team. We'll be trying to fight tooth and nail to get in where we need to fit in, and I think the Titans will beat the Houston Texans. What about for you, man?
So it is. So for the upcoming playoff format, it starts I think January the 9th, 2021. And
Okay,
that's next year.
that
So
is okay. Cool.
you will have number 7 seed. Okay, so we got a 7th seed. So like I said, you can come in as a 9-8 team and you can make the playoffs. So why I say this, I have us losing this game because I feel like we will already kind of be in the playoffs,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like we'll at that point, hey, we're getting for the playoffs. Let's rest our starters. Okay, same thing, same format the Texans did last year where they rested their
Yep.
starters and they had a field day. Actually,
Yep.
have us losing this game. Pure fact that we're gearing up for the playoffs. We're already playoff ready with this new format, with this new playoff format that you have. You have 7 teams going in the playoffs now. So Titans are already in.
Yep.
That's a done deal. You're in. So and I'm with you. With the Texans, I don't see them making the playoffs this year just because the fact when you lose a wide receiver, people don't realize D Hop, man, is a top 5 receiver in his league, man. Like he is a talented receiver, and what he's been able to do in his career with the Texans, that was disrespectful for them to trade him. Okay, that was very disrespectful, and that's almost a slap in the face. So when I look at this game, I'm like, okay, Mike Vrabel was like, hey, whoever our backup quarterback, Logan Woodside or Colt McDonald, get in there and get you some reps. Derek, sit down. We need you for the playoffs. So we'll throw our rookie running back in there. You'll start to see second, third strings. Let's see what you got for next year. So I have us losing this game just off the pure fact we're already in the playoffs. We're getting up for the playoffs. Hey, this is a game that we can drop. Texans, they're not fighting for anything anyway. They're not fighting for a playoff seed. This will be the first year that we're not. Our last game is not to get into the playoffs, but to just kind of relax and chill. And we're already in the playoffs. We already clinched the playoff berth, 2 or 3 weeks ago. So we're good without what we have now. So for me, I got us losing this game just the pure fact that the playoff format has changed. We're going into the playoffs. 7 teams. We're in there. We're good people. Tighten up. We're in the playoffs. Let's get to the Super Bowl.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So that is the season, folks, for the 2020, and these are our final predictions. So Jacques is at 11-5. I'm at 11-5. Wow. So we're right on cue.
Right.
And we both have them making the playoffs. Yes, we do. Yes, in our final predictions for the year. So yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely. So man, Jacques, this was fun, dude.
Hey, it was very fun, very fun. And people, this is just volume 1, and like Hawk iterated early in the show, this could change, right? And I have to literally see what happens. You have to literally see what happens in the playoffs because even I got told you when I was at the preseason games last year and I seen Tannehill play, I said, man, Tannehill is out here throwing with precision. He has some chemistry with A.J. Brown.
Yep.
He's throwing better than Mariota. If we go into the preseason and I'm seeing tendencies from my new rookies, right? If our rookies are making plays in the preseason, my predictions can change, okay? If we come out with an injury, if we come out with specific injuries, my predictions might change. So people remember that. This is just volume 1.
Yep,
okay?
volume one. As of right now, today, May 21st. And it will change, I'm sure.
It's going to change.
It's going to change. It's going to change. It's just where we are right now, man. It's where we are, definitely.
Right.
So
but yeah, go ahead, Hawk. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, so folks in the comments, put down what you think as far as where you feel the Titans might finish in the year. We both said 11-5 going to the playoffs, contending for a Super Bowl. So that's where we are, and that's where we feel like they'll finish, man.
Right. Yeah, like Hawk said, get the discussion started in the comments, man. We like reading the comments. We like going through the comments. Also, people, we have some announcements. So we will start going live. And I don't know, well, we know how the format's going to be, but we will start going live. We'll start posting the times we will go live. So just get ready. I know we posted a video the other day. We were actually testing the software to see if we were able to go live, which we are good to go. So let's get the discussion popping.
Yep.
I don't think we haven't been live in a long time, man.
Yeah, we had. That's right. That's right.
It's been a while.
Been a
So
while. It's been a while, but it's gonna start cooking up, and then we'll have shows that it'll be very, having everyone that's listening in. We'll have you guys included on this with questions
right.
and things. So be ready, be ready, be
We
ready,
ready.
be ready.
We have
So
some things coming down the
yep,
pipeline, and so we're
yep,
excited about that. And like we said, we'll definitely inform you guys when we're gonna go live. And that's just, man, bring the conversation. We talking Titans.
yep.
Hey, post your comment, your question in the chat, and we can answer it, and we can go from there. Let's just have fun, man.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that ends our show. We kindly appreciate everybody watching our show. Continue to get our subscribers up, man. We truly appreciate that. Thank you for watching the show as always.
Hey, and like I tell you all the time, like, share, subscribe. Hey, we almost to 1,000 subscribers, man.
Yep,
We are almost there, people.
almost there, man.
And hey, once we hit that 1,000, man, it's gonna be awesome, man. Well deserved. Like I said, we got collaborations coming on down the pipeline. We're gonna start bringing people on our shows. So just be looking out for that. But like I said, get the followers up on Instagram. I've been saying that for the longest. We wanna
Yep.
get that. We got news on Instagram, so we post news that comes through. We post it instantly. Hey, let's get the likes, share, subscribe to your grandmama, your uncle, your cousin. Tell everybody.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And to contact us as well, you can contact us on Twitter at Titans Weekly 24/7, as well on Instagram at Tennessee Titans Weekly. If you want to email us, you can email us at TennesseeTitansWeekly@gmail.com, folks. So to you and yours, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching the show. The 2020 schedule, 11-5 going to the playoffs. That's what we're going to do, and that's what's going to happen.
Let's rock with it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We appreciate it, folks. We'll see y'all on the next show, folks. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.